Tess, rumor has it you've made vacation envy a real thing here in Whitefish.
Guilty as charged. At Outside Metro, we've got everything from cozy downtown lofts to Lakeview retreats, even barns with pickleball courts. And with over 500 five-star reviews, you really can't go wrong.
What? Okay, I'm already packing my bags.
Just make sure you book direct, Julie, and save on those booking fees at OutsideMetro.com. That's where the good stuff happens.
Done. Outside Metro, and stay where the locals play. The IWD406 Podcast, where Montana women are heard, celebrated, and supported. Today's conversation is one I've been really looking forward to because it brings together two worlds that don't always sit at the same table, but should. Jo Smith is someone who is fully immersed in her life here in Montana, but the moment she starts speaking, you hear it. There's a story behind her that didn't begin here. She grew up in a 6th-generation farm in South Georgia. From there, made her way into Nashville, where she spent over a decade as a signed songwriter and artist, working with names like Sony, ATV, RCA, and Smack. Now, you guys listen to this. She's been named one of Rolling Stone's 10 new artists you need to know. A CMT Next Woman of Country made her debut on the Grand Ole Opry and has toured with artists like Blake Shelton, Miranda Lambert, Dierks Bentley, and much more. But what I find most compelling about Jo isn't just the success, it's the evolution. Because from Nashville to international service to now, building a life and creative movement here in Montana, Jo has walked through identity shifts, which we all can relate, purpose shifts, and what it really looks like to come back home to herself. Since moving to Montana, she's released her independent project, Wyoming, and more importantly, she's building something that I believe is going to have a lasting impact on our beautiful state. She's the founder of Big Sky Troubadours, bringing Nashville-level songwriting experiences to Montana, and now launching the Troubadour Arts Initiative, focused on education, mental health, and healing through songwriting for youth and veterans and everything in between. This conversation is about more than music. It's about identity, purpose, reinvention, and what happens when you choose a life that actually aligns with who you are. Welcome, Jo, to the IWD406 Podcast.
Thank you. That was such a beautiful introduction.
Oh.
It was so thoughtful. It was like, wow, somebody really cares about me.
It's your story.
Thank
It's everything
you.
about you
Yes.
that we know. I am so excited to get the chance to learn about you, Jo. You've hit the pavement here, and everybody knows who you are. And I just love because you're the pass the mic from Ron Snow.
Like
I don't know why.
It's snowing
Ron
outside
Snow.
today.
I was going to say Ron Smith. Ron Snow, and he's with Mountain Bluebird Presents. And he just loves you. He lit up when he was talking about
Yes.
you, and he's got a little family with you all down there, and it's just
Yeah.
wonderful. I mean,
he has become a very dear friend to that point where it's a little muddy between friend and family. It's become like that.
I got you. Oh, I love that. Yeah, he was a delight to have on the podcast. But we're going to talk about you. So we're going to get to it. First and foremost, I can hear the accent. Y'all can hear the accent. I may even kick in my little bit of Midwestern twist. But we obviously know you're not a Montanan. Let's hear a little bit about your upbringing. Where are you originally from?
Southwest Georgia.
Okay.
Yes, and my dad's favorite dad joke is when he tells people that we're from so far out in the country that our zip code is in fractions.
Oh, what?
And then he hoots and he thinks that's hilarious.
Oh, I think that's funny. Your dad's funny. I like that. So what part of Southern Georgia?
So it's the southwest corner, really close to the Alabama and the Florida borders, close to Albany, close to Fort Benning and Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
But it's tough because there's not like a really recognizable city nearby. So I just have to keep...
Yeah, how far is it from like the coastal area?
Not far. We used to do all of our vacations down on the Gulf Coast at Panama City Beach.
Oh.
That was the spot.
Oh, it is a spot.
Yeah.
Remember back when MTV was on?
Oh, yeah, like at Club La Vila and stuff.
Club La Vila.
Yeah,
You're
we used
right.
to talk about all the kids that would go and,
doing naughty stuff.
Yeah, and it's like their parents let them go. Did their parents even know?
Yeah, people are telling
La
on people.
Vila.
La Vila. I do remember seeing that. Yeah, that was all the hits. Anyway, we're digressing. But yeah, okay, so you're in that part of the U.S., down in that southern area. So what was it like for you growing up in the South? And talk to me a little bit about your family. What did your mom and dad do?
My dad was a farmer.
He was a farmer.
And
What kind of a farm?
Yeah, so we had corn, peanuts, other row crops, canola, soybeans. And then the other half of the farm was beef cattle.
Beef cattle. Okay, so you mix.
Yeah. Yep. And my mom was a school teacher in the public school system. She was a speech language pathologist. So she did speech therapy for the kids that had a lisp or a W for R, and some had even more disabilities, but that's what she did.
Oh, and very compassionate.
Very much.
And service focused.
Very much.
I love that. And now how many brothers, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sister, Savannah.
Savannah. Joe and Savannah. Are you Joanna?
Joanna and
Savannah.
And if you would like some more Southern, I will give it to you now.
Oh, I want it.
Even our middle names rhyme.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Joanna Shea and Savannah Kay.
Oh, your parents are amazing. Shout out to them with all the
Yeah,
rhyming. What's your parents' name?
Tony and Bev.
Okay, I was like, do they have a rhyming connection there?
No.
Oh, I love the families, especially in the South, that all the names start with the same letter. Like John, Jerry, Jimmy, Jenny.
I didn't realize it, but yeah, is that a Southern thing?
I think it is.
I think, okay.
I seem to meet a lot of women that come from, if they're from the South, their brothers and sisters all have the same first
initial. Now, let me ask you, because you're like Midwestern to the core. So like we can really talk about culture here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to pick your brain. Do other cultures do like the matching outfits in the family?
We don't, but you all have your monogram on your shirts.
Monogram. That's a big one.
It's
that's
a big thing
one.
because that's a unique brand. I can't think of the name of it, but there's a brand down there that basically everybody jumped on the monogram. It has to have a look. Like it's like
all intertwined.
It's all very scrolly and with the big W or whatever that is. Do you have shirts that have that on it?
I do. And my kids do, because the people from back home will send them.
Oh, I love that. Do they wear, because Lily Pulitzer is like a big Southern brand as well. So a lot of bright pink, like gingham.
Yes.
We should break those out up here. That'd be great. And all match. Should be
I get bags of clothes from back home for Ruby, my 20-month-old.
Oh.
And I don't dress up a lot. But we go to church downtown, and so I'll whip something out of that bag. And there's like a couple Southerners at church or from the South, and they're like, she's got her embroidery on, and they love it. They love to see what she's going to wear, what I've popped out of the garbage bag.
I love that. And do more of it. Because all little kids need to look that cute with their little monogram on their big
bow,
bibbed collars, ones that are like, they take up their entire shoulder area.
Yes. At church this Sunday, if you'd like to see that, Ruby will have on a Noah's Ark.
Oh.
Monogrammed bib collar thing.
Oh, I love that.
So see me at church.
I will. I'm curious. Take a picture. I want to see it.
I will.
I love this. So now we're tapping into the Southern culture. So talk to me a little bit about your upbringing. So I want to know, did you discover that you were musically talented when you were younger, or did it happen later?
It was ever since I could remember. And I've often thought of it as I've grown up and then had my own children. I'm like, wow, it really was remarkable how early I started doing this. And I would never classify my mom and dad as stage parents, but they must have seen it and nurtured it. And I've often wondered like what that balance was as I raised my own kids and start to see their proclivities and whatnot. But when I was 3, which is a year younger than my son who's 4, I'm like, I did my first gig, and it was at church, and I stood up in front of the church and sang a solo. And I'm like, wow, how did that go down? I sang the Bible, yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the word of God, the Bible.
Oh my goodness. And the fact that you remember that.
I know, I can't even believe I remember it, but
it was a big moment.
Yeah. So it started early, and I should ask my parents, like, how did that go down? Did they tell the preacher that I could sing, or did he just see? I don't know how that happened. It's a good question.
That is a good. And so, did you were you a staple singing every weekend?
No, I did that one solo in church, and I
Okay.
only know about that because there's video footage,
Oh.
I think.
Yeah.
And then I had a turning point when I was 5. And
Okay.
yeah,
At 5.
This is a very Southern funny story that I'll
Oh,
try to make quick.
I want to hear it.
I mean, pageants are a big thing in the South.
They are.
They are. And all the little girls do them. And my mom, she had her opinions about it. And she was like, now look, very matter of fact. She told me when I was 5, I entered the Little Miss King Cotton Horse Show pageant.
Oh my gosh.
Combining a lot going on there. But,
Sorry,
but she
choking.
entered me into the pageant and she was like, now look, you're not going to win. You are doing this because I want you to learn how to be on stage and in front of people and communicate and be a little lady.
Oh.
Those were my marching orders. And so I believed everything my mom said. And I was like, got it. Not going to win. Be a lady.
Well, that kind of
learn how
puts
to talk.
a nugget in your head that you're not going to win. What is that?
I know. I don't know. I think it was her effort. Like a big family value was humility.
Oh yeah, of course.
She wanted it to not be about that.
Right.
And so sometimes we just like skip some details. So it's like, you're not going to win. So don't even get that going. You're not
Get it
here
out of
for
your
that.
head.
You're not here for that.
Yes.
So it was her attempt to make me humble and be about the right things
I love that though. I really do.
as we stand in a cattle lineup.
Yep. It's true though. Yeah.
With our- number. We even have a number.
Oh my gosh.
like an
Did
ear
did
tag.
you have big hair?
I wasn't capable of big hair because it was just too,
Okay.
I was pretty pitiful, Julie. Let me be
Oh,
real.
come on,
I had
Joe.
a hand-me-down dress, and in the lineup, we didn't get the memo that it was a certain time of year, and it was like white shoes, and then I had some black patent ones
Oh.
on. So I was struggling.
I don't know, but then that's an advantage because you're a standout.
That's
There
true.
you go.
Here's how it
Oh, I
ended.
wanna hear.
I
Okay.
go to the interview, and the judges are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I tell them, I'm like, I already am a professional country music singer. I just don't get to get on stage a whole lot.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember it like it was yesterday. And this judge, I could tell they thought it was hilarious. And they're like, and I'm like, I don't know what they're laughing at. I'm like, and then they're like, why don't you sing us something? And I'm like, okay, I will. So I strike out and sing Have Mercy by the Judds, which is a cheating song.
I want to hear it. What is it?
It's like, have mercy on me.
Oh my
You
God.
treat me so bad. I'm in misery.
Can you imagine little you singing that?
Yeah, and I'm serious about it. Don't know what the words mean.
Were
I'm
you
just
sassy? Did you have the sassy hand on the hip thing?
probably,
I love it.
probably,
I love
yeah.
this for you. I love
Yeah.
this. Yes.
So sing that for them. They're getting a kick out of this. And the little girls pageant ends. They announce the winner. It is me. I'm like, my mama told me I wasn't going to win, so that must not be what's happening. And then my mom runs up and she's like, you won. And I'm like, what?
Oh, I love this.
And so they put all the garb and the trophy and whatnot. I go back out in the audience, and they have a visiting queen come in to sing as they transition to the older girls pageant.
Okay.
Said visiting queen comes in and she sings Have Mercy by the Judds. So the judge waves a stop to the pageant, and he's, hold on, rewind the karaoke track she was singing to, comes and gets me from my parents, sits me on stage and says, you don't get to get up on stage a whole lot, but now you do.
Wow.
And he gave me the mic, and I sang along to the karaoke track, and that started it.
I'm
So
telling you,
then-
that was meant to be. Did you ever think about that? That's crazy.
I know. And from that point on, I was like the novelty little girl country singer. And so I would go and sing at all the pageants and events.
You did.
So that was the beginning.
I love that for you, though.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's really fascinating. The whole story in itself, it was like a lot. This is your destination.
Yeah.
Here we go at 5.
Yeah. And it defined my life for sure. Whether it was or wasn't, or whether it was ordained or not by God, which I thought it definitely was.
For sure.
It sent me down a path.
It's interesting because there's 2 things. So backing up the church thing, you hear like, I love Whitney Houston. Oh my gosh. And that's how she got her start.
Yeah.
Being in a safe space, church, and singing the gospel, and when having all the people be so supportive and great place though for kids though to get started, really.
It is.
And then, but it's also interesting because we've had some pageant girls on the podcast, and I'm just thinking of Alexandra from Texas and her pageantry story and how she got into it. And she went back to try out for Miss Montana USA. And her talent wasn't really the thing, but to get out there and put herself out there. The thing for you in that situation was the singing aspect.
Yes.
So to give women and little girls the opportunity to do that, I think is really special.
I do too. And sometimes I get a little like sarcastic about it or maybe even condescending. And I don't mean to. I do think that pageants have and needed to evolve.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to say that was the way that a little girl from South Georgia could figure out a lot of things about how to, it was like my mom said, how to be on stage and be confident, speak.
Yes.
And it was really good experience. And I actually went on, I stopped doing pageants. And then in my teen years, I was approached by a woman who became a big part of my life and a mentor to enter the Miss Teen Georgia pageant. The first year they did it, it was the Miss Georgia pageant, the Miss America system, not the Miss USA.
That was the first year?
It was the first year that they had the teen
Had the
pageant.
teen pageant.
And
Okay,
she was
gotcha.
like, you should enter. And I was like, does it have a talent portion? Because that's all I'm about.
Yeah.
And they did. And so I entered it and I won. And I was Miss Teen Georgia. And I toured around the state singing.
Joe,
And
where is this in your bio?
I know.
In your CV?
I know. It's hilarious.
I love
know.
this.
And it was a huge life-changing year because I got to, it was essentially preparing me to be a touring artist.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
I owe a lot to pageants.
And thank you for sharing that, which gets me into my next question. So now at this point, now you got the bug at 5.
Yeah.
And then you got the talent. Oh, I can get out there on stage and do it. It's 7, right? 7?
At 5 was the
5
year,
was
the year
the
that,
pageant year,
yes.
but before that 3,
Yeah.
5. Sorry, I got to get my dates, my ages right. And then later, becoming Miss Teen Georgia.
Yeah, I was 15 or 16.
15 or
Yeah.
16. And now you're, okay, the stars are aligning. This is what I need to do. So you've got a parent who clearly, managing the farm, career path was set for him. I know we didn't mention this, but he loves music, saw the bright, beautiful voice in you. Now you have the mom that is, it's very processed, service focused, pretty lucrative job, right? Being able to be a speech pathologist in your area. Those two influences in your life, because a lot of people get tripped up when they're in high school, because now you got to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Right.
What pressure is that, right?
Yeah.
At 18, 16, I was 17 where I was like, I got to figure out where I got to go to college and what I want to do for a career for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
At this point in high school, what did you decide to do? Were you like, I'm going to go and see what I can do with this singing talent and ability and drive, or am I going to go to the college route?
I was torn. I knew that I wanted to do country music and be a singer, but I also had a insatiable love of learning and school. And the funny addendum to that Miss Teen Georgia thing is I entered for the talent competition. That was the one area I didn't win. I won the academic award, the interview award. I know. And I was like, what the? I was like, I'm
What
here
the
for
hell?
the talent.
Yes, exactly.
But I loved that. And it's funny because I think as time went on, my talents might have been lay more with the academics. And I really loved it. But this path had been carved out and it had been my bread and butter in a way. So I knew that I wanted to go to Nashville and do this, but I thought you just get discovered somehow. So I went to college because that's what you do after high school and was excited about it all the time, thinking at some point I'm going to be discovered. That's not really how it works.
Yeah, I want to know that. That's interesting.
So I went to Auburn and continued to enter every talent competition I could. And then I entered a talent competition, the Colgate Country Showdown, and the guy that was running sound was like, hey, I know a band out of Nashville, and they're looking for a new lead singer, and you need to audition. I'm going to put you in touch with them. So I did. I got the gig, and I got to Nashville.
Was it country? Was it country song? Singing country?
Yeah, it was this all-girl band.
An all-girl band?
Yeah, called Mustang Sally.
Oh.
And they were a cover band. And I think a large portion of female singers in Nashville probably made their way through this band at some time.
Really?
Yeah, and
Why was the turnover high? We won't go there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I put you in a...
Can you imagine a bunch of females on the road together? No.
It can be tough.
I actually don't know, but I can tell you my experience. I got fired like right off the bat before I even got started. I got fired. Yes. And I should have been fired because I was so green. I'd never been in the studio. I'd never
they were serious.
Played with a band.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a band. I was karaoke tracks growing up. And so there were a lot of little things that made me not the right pick. So I really don't know why they picked me in the first place. But yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. So you're at is it Auburn University?
Yeah.
And then this basically this big pickup, right?
Yeah.
Were you like, okay, I'm going to do, what were you majoring in though? I want to know that.
Yeah, I was majoring in political science.
What?
At Auburn.
Did you want to be a lawyer?
No, those were the classes that appealed to me. So that's what I did.
Okay.
I didn't have any plans to do anything with it. I was going to be a country singer.
Oh, you were like, I'm just fluff.
I was going to college for fun.
Yeah. Yes. But then on the side doing kind of some fun karaoke gigs and different, and then this thing happens, right? And then you get in the band. And what did you discover about it? Was that immediately your link into Nashville?
It was, and my parents gave me their blessing, and I had the gig.
Yeah.
And I decided to just move. And so I moved to Nashville with not like maybe $200. I don't know.
But you knew you knew the people. So you had this comforting feeling of, I know these women, they're supporting me in what I'm doing.
Yeah, it was weird. If I had known then what I know now about just intuiting about people, I would have been like, this is probably not worth leaving everything behind for. But good thing I didn't, because it got me to Nashville.
Yeah.
And like they wouldn't answer the phone after I moved. What? And it was really bizarre, but I did know one person in Nashville, and that person was my comfort blanket. And he was good. He was a fella from back home that had also moved to pursue country music and had gotten a good little start. Was writing songs, and our parents knew each other, and he was like a big brother to me. His name was Luke Bryan.
Oh my gosh. Hottie patati.
I know. And he was just getting his career started.
Sunrise.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, how's that song go?
That was good.
No,
that was good.
No, you do not want me to sing. No, I love him. Wow.
And so when they fired me, my first call was Luke, and I was like, Luke, I'm fired.
Wait, was he already there? He was already there.
Yeah, he was already living in Nashville and had his first publishing deal.
Wow.
And I called him and I was like, Luke, what do I do? And he was like, I'm going to take care of you, Joanna. I'm going to get you a job with my girlfriend. And he had a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, I thought he said with you making my girlfriend.
No, he said, I'm going to get you a job with my girlfriend.
With my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So he got me a job working for his girlfriend at the time. And that's a whole nother story.
Oh my gosh. The insights,
You'll have to have me back for the tea.
Oh, I want you back on this. We need to dive some deep dives here. So, okay, now you got your foot in the door. Which is so interesting. When you hear people, they're like, in order to make it big in acting, I got to go to LA. And just to me, it feels like I'm such a prepared person. I'm such a planned person. My vacations are always planned. I know what to, expect. I know that we're going to go do this, and this is going to be successful. This is going to turn out into, I'm going to make my goal or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
To go on a wing and a prayer and really only know one person, is that is that comforting to you? Are you okay with that?
I was.
You were.
I don't know. I think that my goal orientedness overrode my type A-ness, because I'm also that way. But when I have a goal, or when I feel like the spirit move me on the inside, I'm like, I'm jumping off this cliff. And I know that there will be a parachute come out of somewhere.
Oh,
So I don't know why.
you have faith in yourself.
I
and faith that the
guess.
process is going to work out okay.
Yeah, I have faith
love
that it's
that.
gonna work out. When there's like a feeling that I get about things, like
Yeah.
this warm feeling of go in that direction. And I've only had it a few times in my life, but when I have it, I just go.
You go and it works out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it works out. Maybe it doesn't work out, but it's not as neat.
Yeah.
It's debilitating, devastating.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I did it.
Good.
Yeah.
So with that, okay, so Mustangs, was it Mustang Sally?
Mustang Sally, yes.
Did they dissolve are they
They are still around.
Are they really?
Yes, and some of the band members that were in it when I auditioned are still in it.
Wow.
And they actually were performing somewhere I was nearby, and I was like, JD was like, we need to go. And I'm like, I know, and we didn't have a babysitter, so I didn't get to.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
You need to reconnect with them and just to get the
I should. We should laugh. I'm sure they would laugh to hear my story.
Oh,
about
I love
how
it.
impacted me and what happened.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love all this.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're in Nashville. We got Luke Bryan. We got his girlfriend. We're building some connections. How does that evolve? How do you start to be seen, be heard, be valued for what you can do? How does that work?
I can say how it worked in 2004, and it's different now. But Luke he was a huge influence on me in how I decided to proceed. And he was a songwriter at heart. And I didn't write songs when I moved to Nashville, but I looked up to him, and he encouraged me. He was like, Joanna, let me tell you what you need to do. He was like, you need to get your guitar, learn how to play it, write you some songs, and be able to sit up there on a stool with a guitar and a mic and sing your songs.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I immediately knew that it was through the songwriting that I was going to gain respect in Nashville in the way that I wanted it to be. Because there was a batch of people that were hairbrush singers. And that's what I was when I moved to
That's what they call it, like a hairbrush
Yeah,
singer?
just like you sing.
You sing a pop song or what?
You're a singer.
You're
but
a singer.
That's nothing wrong with that, but that's a thing.
Okay.
Or you could be,
have more depth.
Yes. And be a songwriter.
At that time, did you know how to play guitar?
No. So I learned.
Wow. That's not an
And-
easy thing to learn.
No, and luckily I had a dad that played, and so I was able to get a guitar and sit down and start learning. But I did, and so that's the path that I chose. And
that was your
know,
first time. So let's sit with this. So you were a vocal singer. You you vocally, and you knew how to sing. You knew you could read notes, right?
No, I was formally trained in piano, so I could, but it wasn't. It's separate from that.
Yeah.
I just could carry a tune. As
You
we
just
say.
you had a good your voice.
Yeah, I could sing.
You're gifted.
Yeah.
You're genetically gifted.
Yeah, and that
That's
was
wonderful. But then now you're adding the guitar element into it. And on top of that,
Mm-hmm.
now you are, if you've never written a song, which I've never written a song, I wouldn't even
Yeah.
know where to begin to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've all these learning curves. Plus you're
Yeah.
trying to sustain, right?
Yeah.
And make money.
Yeah.
Was it, looking back at that time of your life, it had to have been exciting because you don't have any independence on you, right? It's just you doing it. But did you feel a lot of pressure? Or were you like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn guitar and do all the things.
I think I was fearless because I was just ignorant. Like I was
Well, you
very
don't know.
sheltered but also very confident because I had never been through a hard knock before. So I was like, I'm going to do this thing.
And you had a good support system back home. So if anything, if it's
I did.
and
I
parachute
knew
and you can go back home and figure it out.
I knew that my family would be there for me. And a lot of people don't have that.
That's right.
I was also very determined not to rely on them financially or in any other way. So that would have been, to tuck tail and go home would have been a big deal. And I never did that. But knowing that it's there is invaluable. And I think about the people that don't have that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. But yes. So that's how I got started. And Luke was the first person from which all of my network grew.
Because he had already established connections.
Yeah, he was a signed writer. And he was a writer on staff with 5 or 6 others. And those others became my core group of people because I met them through Luke. And Luke's guitar player was new to town as well and was just starting to write songs. So my first co-write was with him.
Wow.
And now he's a big-time producer and still plays with Luke and has tons of big songs to his credit. And yeah, he produces Cole Swindell. And yeah, I know. It's just, and the show that I'm playing next, the Memorial Day show, is featuring a writer named Philip White. And Philip was someone that I met through Luke and wrote at the same company. So
very cool.
I know. Long-lasting relationship.
You do have to make sure you're blending with the right people that are passionate. What is it? Yeah. When you're in that group, what's the synergy? What's that vibe like? And then how do you help each other? Like, especially if, let's say, somebody gets signed, right? And maybe you're sitting back going, well, dang, and I helped co-write that. Or, where am I in this process, right? And what is the vibe? What does it take to?
It is a lot about vibe. And sometimes you don't gel with other people in the writer's room. And it's a lot like blind dating. When you're starting out, you get thrown in a room with somebody you don't really know, and it's, do we have chemistry or do we not?
Yeah, okay.
That's a big piece, and the chemistry has to be there with songwriters. And we're going to get into the songwriters process. You and I are both. I know, we're struggling.
We're both struggling with our.
We're struggling
with our.
I
know. Cheers. Yeah, with all of our cough syrups
is.
And everything else we got thrown into our drinks. Yeah. So no, my question too is, so now you got this beautiful voice. And you're developing your unique style. You've got guitar playing now. You're songwriting. You're writing your own songs. Now, so getting gigs, were you starting to get out there and go to places to, hey, I want to sing tonight at 11 o'clock tonight. Is that how you get discovered?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It depends on where you're playing and the auspices under which you're playing. A lot of people think in Nashville that you go downtown and you play at the honky tonks downtown and you get discovered. And I would say that's probably the last place you're going to get discovered, because the industry types, the suits, the people that sign people, the last thing they want to do is go down there to one of those bars.
Yeah.
And they know that if the person is worth their salt and is someone they want to sign, that person will find their way to them. They will come to them on a silver platter. So they're not going to go down there.
Yeah. How does that even happen?
And I'm not saying that hasn't happened, but the way that you get to the people that can sign you, and this is all changing, but back when I was in it, is you would get signed to a publishing deal or a management deal or some other lower level deal from the record deal, most likely. And then those people would develop you to a certain extent and then take you to a record label. So that's a lot of times how it would happen. But sometimes there's always exceptions. Sometimes that doesn't work. And that was the case for me at first, because I did get my first publishing deal and my publisher took me in, and the record labels weren't into that. They didn't like that attachment. And I probably just wasn't quite ready, or they didn't like the music, something. So I got passed on by everybody the first go round.
Okay.
So I gave it a minute. And then I cold called a woman that was in A&R, which is the position at a record label that scouts talent.
Okay.
And I cold called her because I had heard from Philip White, the guy that is on my show on Memorial Day. I'd heard from him that she had been a fan of some of my demos in the past. And I was like, I'll give this a shot. So I cold called her and she called me back. And I went into RCA to have a meeting, sat down with her, and I went under the veil that I was pitching her songs for her acts that were already signed. Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
And I was like, here's some of my songs that I think would fit them. But pretty quickly she was like, do you want to be an artist yourself? And I was like, yeah, I do. And she was like, all right, come back next week. And I want you to not bring me songs for my other acts. I want you to bring me songs for you. Okay. If you made a record today with your demos, what would it be? So I brought those back. And then it became like that. The next week she had me do more homework. And then it became she would bring her higher ups in. And then it culminated in a showcase.
Wow.
And that is where the record label pays for you to put on a show for them. And it's very pageanty, where you got 5 songs, you come out all guns a-blazing at a venue, and you just put it on for them.
Holy buckets.
And they sit there and they watch you, and it's middle of the afternoon, and then they give you the thumbs up or thumbs down. You get word whether or not you got signed.
Holy buckets.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of pressure.
Exactly. And it sounds like to me what I love, and people take something away from this. If you want something, you got to hustle and get it. And you did. You knew there was a opportunity, and you're like, I'm going to cold call and see what happens with this. Maybe luckily this woman, and what was her name?
Lisa Ramsey Perkins.
Okay, so Lisa was like, I see something in this. And maybe at the first initial, that's not going to work. But I see something behind that layer. You kept with it, and you kept showing up, and you kept doing exactly what was asked of you to do. And then now you've done the pageantry work way back in the day.
Yeah.
You've already been there, done that. This isn't unfamiliar, right? And you've got this opportunity because you were selling yourself to her, and she was selling you to them. Right? And so now you have all this pressure. After that, you get in front of these people. I can't even imagine. In my head, what flashed in my head was Flashdance. Yeah. The movie Flashdance.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Very similar.
But I was even thinking just an actress that I had interviewed on the podcast where, she went for Rent and was Maureen in Rent on Broadway. And it's the same thing. It's you got to put yourself out there. You got to be under fire. You got to go in front, middle of the day kind of thing. People are drinking their coffee. They're probably tired. Yeah. And you get no response. Did you get a response?
Yes. Yeah. The crowd, we stacked a few people in there that we already knew supported.
Oh, good.
But it was a good response. What's funny is I did get the deal.
You did?
I didn't.
What?
And I know. And the showcase went really well. But then they came back and they were like, it was just like one hoop after another. And they said, we love the showcase. Nothing wrong with the showcase. But we're a little worried because we haven't heard anything on tape. That's how you say, like a recorded version,
right,
anything on tape that we feel confident signing. So what we're going to do is give you a development deal.
Oh.
And we're going to pair you with a producer. And they paired me with Keith Stegall, who is a fabulous, legendary producer. He produced all of Alan Jackson's records. And so they're like, we're putting you in the studio with Keith Stegall, and we'll see what comes out of it. So I go in the studio with Keith. We record 10 or 12 sides, as they call them, and gave them to the label. The label was like, we're just not into this. And they were like, but we still love you, and we still believe in you, so how about you do another showcase?
What?
And it's like sudden death at this point.
Yeah.
So I have to do another showcase. I do another showcase, and I get signed. And they're like, you know what? We're just going to sign you. We don't have a producer or recordings that we love, but we're just going to sign you at this point. We're sick of dealing with it.
They saw that you weren't giving up.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
I guess so.
I think if I had money and I want to invest in somebody, I want to see they put you through the ringer a little bit. I can see this, the little bit of the monkey dance kind of thing going on.
A little bit. Yeah.
How long are you going to do this? But at the end of the day, they probably all knew you were going to somehow get signed.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I would think.
Yeah, it's funny. I'd love to ask. I'm actually still really close.
You should
with
ask.
who was Lisa's boss. Her name's Renee Bell. She and I keep in touch. And then the CEO, the head of the label, as they call him, Joe Galani, who is a truly legendary figure in music. Cool. He signed Alabama, KT Oslin, the Judds. He was the record executive.
And you were around all these people.
And I was the last person he signed before he retired.
Wow.
Yeah, and I still keep in touch with him too.
That's super cool, Joe.
Yeah, it was really neat.
I mean, you should be
special.
So proud of yourself to get to that level.
Yeah.
Get signed. Then after that, are you performing? Are you on the road?
Yeah, you get all the things. You get a manager, a booking agent. You get all the pieces in place.
Yeah.
and you just start working. And
so this is in 2004.
No, I moved to Nashville 2004, and I signed this deal in 2010.
Okay.
Ish.
I want to point something out. So I was like thinking, social media, little bit not a thing.
It wasn't. It was MySpace, and that's it.
I'm telling you, came in right at the right time, because now you hear about the hustle for artists for social media, and it's really unfair. I look at artists like Hannah King, where we talked about this on the podcast, where it was like, they really won't look at you unless you have X amount of followers.
100%.
And I'm like, that's such bullshit, to be honest with you, because you can buy those followers. And there's now great apps that kind of can read through the BS, right? Now that they've created that for advertising or people that want to do real business deals. But to do that song and monkey dance on, for example, for her genre is all bluegrass.
Yeah.
Nobody on TikTok, that's not like a big pull for young kids to listen to bluegrass on TikTok, but they're looking at that. So you were before all the monkey.
Yeah, and it's funny. It was
social media monkey game.
It was just getting started, and Taylor Swift was really the only one that had tapped into it with MySpace. And we were, everybody else was, I was at that moment, the Taylor Swift MySpace moment where, and I was like, that's not my deal. It was before it became like a part of your job.
Oh, for sure.
And she kind of made it that way because she made it work for her. And then everybody needs to be doing that.
Brilliant.
And I know it was brilliant. Yeah. And then American Idol was coming of age at that time too.
Right.
And I was like, that doesn't feel true to me either.
Yeah.
But that was also the talent shows, the televised talent shows were a huge deal when I was coming up.
Totally.
Yeah, I just never did want to do them. For reasons, going back to Luke Bryan's advice, is I wanted to nurture a different career path for myself.
That it's seemingly like more of that intimate experience with stage and all those pieces that you kind of are creating today.
Yeah, yes, that is a good segue to today, because it's funny. I didn't expect the pageant piece to be such a common thread in this conversation, because we didn't even talk about this the other day.
I'm like,
but
wow,
here it is.
Good. Yeah.
And it's funny. I feel like it really made me who I was, but then I have spent my whole life almost trying to detach from it, because I was like, I don't want to do American Idol. I don't want to stand up there with all the production and be in front of a panel of judges anymore. I want to be imperfect, and I want to be just guitar strings and words on a page in a story. I want the full, I wanted that. That is what I gravitated
Maybe the
towards.
translation of being humble by your mom.
Yeah, maybe.
And the humility factor really truly evolves in the authenticity of self. Because when we go out there and we're expected to perform and win, and it's not, you're in a different mindset. There's a veil that's there. I think you innately, and even just your warmth and your presence for those listening, she's a very warm person to be around. And that authenticity is just, that's what it is. And I think your mom knew it. Just be authentic, Joe. Go out there and be you. Be humble, be kind, be gracious. You got a very gracious demeanor. You know what I mean? A lot of grace.
Yeah.
So I think, you're right. That whole social media game, that song, and that's not you at all.
It doesn't feel right. It never has. And not to say that I haven't tried, you know, like jump on that bandwagon. And sometimes you feel a little guilt, like, oh, I'm not doing a part of my job. But I've stepped away from that. I think that's bullshit.
It is bullshit. And people want it. And now we're in Montana. They read through the bullshit pretty quickly. Yeah. They want authenticity. They want realness.
Yeah.
Which what I want to go into, because I don't want to glaze over your accomplishments, all the things that you've done in Nashville. Let's talk about some highlight reels.
Yeah.
Some pinnacle moments.
Yeah.
What were some of those things? I mentioned in your bio the Grand Ole Opry, which is huge.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I made my Grand Ole Opry debut in June 2013.
Okay.
I know when because
So you had 2004 getting started to 2013. There's a little bit of
almost 10 years.
10 years, but look at how many things you experienced.
Yeah.
And some people take 20, 30 years to get there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And the Grand Ole Opry was an interesting moment for me.
Okay.
Because I lost my record deal 2 months before.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was very bittersweet. And I'm out on radio tour, which is when your label sends you out. And it's on the label's dime that you go out and just visit all the radio stations in the country. And I was on my radio tour, and we hadn't gotten traction at radio, as they say. And it was at the point where the label was looking at my balance sheet and what they had spent on me, and the single that we were out promoting.
What was it?
It was a song called "Girls Are Crazy."
Oh,
yeah.
That kind of can be.
Yeah, it was a funny song.
Yeah.
And it wasn't getting traction.
Okay.
The promo staff, I'm sure, was reporting back to the label and
I
being
wonder how that
hey,
works.
It's not looking good.
Okay.
And so I'm out on radio tour, and I get the call from the label president. And it was so devastating and just so embarrassing, humiliating. And later that night, this is a funny piece, I'm playing a show, and they introduced me. The local radio guy calls me to the stage, and he's RCA recording artist Joanna Smith. And I'm like, just turn that knife. He didn't know. Oh. But anyway, I lost my record deal. So it was a pretty sad moment in my career. And I had confirmed the Opry, and luckily they continued to allow me to play, even though I'd lost my record deal. So that meant a lot, the fact that the Opry still had me on. Yeah. And the Opry has evolved a lot, but at the time, I felt like it was almost a validation from them that we still believe in you because you represent what the Opry's about. Yes. And that was a beautiful night because one of my heroes, Patty Loveless, sang with me on stage. Vince Gill was on that night, and we all sang Go Rest High on That Mountain together, and it was a magical night.
Joe, do you ever I would be like, I can't talk.
I know.
But are you like, oh, wow. I'm sitting amongst giants, right?
Yeah.
Not that you weren't a giant, but I mean, wow, legendary people. And do you get caught up in, if I get out there, am I going to screw up? Or
the nerves and the adrenaline are just so high. And
despite the record deal loss, can you walk the listeners through being backstage, hearing your name, knowing how this is would you say it's one of your biggest moments?
Definitely. That,
one of your biggest moments.
Sometimes when you have a moment like that's so big and high pressure and meaningful, that you have so much like emotion and adrenaline going that it almost, you look back and it seems like a fog. Yeah. It kind of does
Time
seem
lapse
like that.
Or whatever.
But the memories that I have, the core memories that I do pull from, I think it was a blur, like the actual playing, the moment on stage was a bit of a blur, but my favorite memory, where I do have a crisp memory, was the rehearsal in the band cage, which is a super cool piece of the Opry. Okay. The Opry musicians, they're the best of the best, obviously. A lot of them are session guys that you will have played with in the studio at other times, and so I knew a lot of them. And you don't get a rehearsal per se at the Opry. Okay. And they do let you go out on stage and step into the circle before. Just so that's not the first moment that you do it when you are performing.
I would be pooping my pants.
I know. So you get to go out there with the empty audience, do it, and have that moment. So that's special. And I do remember that. But the band cage is when you go and they call it the band cage, and it's just a little room or area that they have set aside for the musicians to come out, and the drummer will just have like some brushes and like a little drum, like just a little drum right there, and he'll just brush the song. Yeah. And it's just a really quiet, broken down run through that you get to do before you do it on stage, which is also nerve-wracking, but it's also cool because when you're on stage and everything is plugged in and whatnot. It's its own thing. But to get to sing the song, and for me, with Patty, like in a way that was acoustic and just, that was a special moment. And my dad was there, and he has pictures of it, and that's what I remember.
Oh, that's amazing. But the authenticity was just there.
Yeah.
You can't, there's nothing, you're just doing it. But I noticed that about you. You pretty much, you don't over prepare, do you? You pretty much.
Yeah, I've never been one
to over prepare or prepare enough.
For me, it's like I get to the point of no return.
Do you feel like it's, as I often seen, if I do different like voice work or something, and I'm like, oh, the first take was the best one.
Yeah,
because I didn't really overthink it. Now 100%. I'm overthinking with every fifth take or sixth take. Yes, that's a good point. Interesting. Wow, to be able to have that experience, man, that's that's not everybody gets an opportunity to do that.
I know, and I'm really grateful. It was wonderful.
That super cool, and thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
Now I want to hear. Okay, now we had some disappointments. At this point, you've been in Nashville for what now? 11, 12 years, right? Mm-hmm. Were you getting to the point where you getting discouraged? Were you getting frustrated? Were you seeing things about yourself? The naiveness is you're getting experience and all the things. At that point, like, I think I need to shift.
At that point of losing my record deal with RCA, I wasn't there yet.
You weren't there.
I still had the fire to keep going, but I had been knocked around quite a bit at that point. And I was, for the first time in my life, a little bit probably depressed, a little bit lost. Oh, it was a big identity shaker. I'm like, and it really brought me around spiritually in a big way, because I'm like, I'm not okay. And why? Why am I not okay? It's because my entire identity is rooted in something that's very fleeting, your career. And I had to really come to terms. And meanwhile, I had rushed into a marriage that I thought was right, wrong reasons.
Yes.
And so I was very quickly also going through a divorce.
Wow.
And I'm just like, wow.
No kids though, right?
No kids.
Okay.
And I'm like, I have lost my record deal and I have gone through a divorce. This is not the life I had planned for myself. So it was a big turning point. And I pulled myself back out of it and got another deal. The industry was changing at that time, and so it was a deal with a boutique management, publishing, and record label, which was, they were starting to pop up.
Okay.
A really successful songwriter who's achieved some amount of fame, Shane McAnally, had started this company, and he signed me, and it was a great experience because I started writing. I was at a new era of my life personally.
Yeah, you had some major things happening.
Yeah.
I'm sure the songwriting completely shifted.
Yeah, I just grew up a little bit, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of the early stuff on RCA was, I hate to use this word, but a little gimmicky, because they were like, oh, she's so cute. She's from Georgia with this accent.
Right.
So they were really pushing me to release, like, all my girlfriends are getting married, and just cute stuff and stuff that would stand out on the radio and grab attention.
Right.
And that was the game.
Yeah.
But Smack was more mature. I got to do that, be a little bit more mature, a little bit more sexy. We went down this Motown road, which I loved because being from South Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
My African-American brothers and sisters.
Love it.
Like
Yes.
that was a big part of like how I was influenced.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so the Smack deal happened, and I reinvented and revived and was going strong, and then abruptly and unexpectedly lost that deal too. Oh. And that was when it was like, okay, enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Your moment. I got to make a change. And so at that point, it had to have been a difficult spot to be in.
It was, because it's hard enough to get one record deal, much less two. And at that point, I was like...
What's the typical duration, though, for record deals?
It all depends. And to be honest, my record deal on RCA was a lot longer than they normally last.
Really?
For people with my level of non-success. And the reason that happened is I got shuffled around because it was, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of music business, but it was a umbrella. So Sony was the parent company, and it owned several imprints: RCA, B&A, Columbia, Arista. And I was originally signed to Columbia and then moved to RCA. So I knew balance sheet and I really got 2 record deals in one.
Wow.
So I got more chances than most. And
okay, interesting.
essentially, I think it was just because they liked me and I was easy to deal with, and they kept me.
Oh, interesting.
And so I got a second shot in my first shot, and then I got another record deal with Smack, and then
wow.
I know.
But I mean,
It's a journey.
but it is a journey. But look at how many people you've met along the way.
Oh, yeah.
All the connections. Even if you did take a hiatus or step back or whatever, you'd know somebody to get back in, or maybe potentially in, or another avenue to go down. Right. And I do think, like, in life in general, it's really who you know and how you build up your Rolodex of numbers.
Well, I'm flash forward to today and Big Sky Troubadours.
Yes.
I've been able to build that because of my Nashville network.
Yeah, it all comes full circle.
It does.
So then let's talk about the pivot. So going and saying, okay, I got to take a step back. I got to take a break. What did you do? Did you go home? Did you stay there? Were you like, I don't know what to do?
I stayed there and I looked at my life, and I just knew that I needed a dramatic change.
Okay.
And I knew that I didn't want to abandon music altogether, but I knew I was burned out completely and entirely and at a loss of what to do next in the music industry.
Yeah.
And also, for the first time, wondering if I even wanted to be a part of it anymore.
Oh.
And I know, I still feel sad when I think about this time of my life. I know.
Because that's cutting. Let's dissect the fact that you had a partner, you were married, you got divorced. That in itself is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And then this big part of your entire life since the age of 3 with a huge supportive system, right? And then now you've had some moments that make you question things, probably some experiences in Nashville that make you go, you're questioning the barometer. If that makes sense, something that internal barometer, right? Yeah. And it's not feeling good.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And I can see that, even reflecting back on that and go, oh, what would I have said to her? Do you ever think about that? Like, what would I have said to that Joe version?
Yeah, I know.
What would you have said?
I know I would have said it's going to all work out.
Oh, it's going to totally work out.
It's going to all work out. You're going to be so grateful for this.
Yes. But it's good that you were able to tap into it not feeling good. Some people stay in this shit for too long.
Yeah, and it's tough not to when I think about the even earlier era, when I think about the girl in the hand-me-down dress and like what her dreams were, because I wanted to honor those.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to give up. And it felt like giving up at the time.
Oh.
But I wrote a song recently, and one of my favorite lines in it, if not my favorite, is, if I can just let go of an old dream, I'm a rich girl. And it's all these things, like the simple things. And you have to hear it in the succession of other lines for it to have...
I can already see it.
To have the impact.
Yeah.
But it's, how you become rich in life. And sometimes it's letting go of old dreams.
It really is.
And that's not what we hear. It's never give up. And it's, hey, I got something to add to that.
Yes.
And it's funny, I think I was watching one of the award shows, and I was watching Lainey Wilson win all the awards one night. And I love her because she's so authentic. And I'm such a fan of her in so many ways. But she got up, and as most do, was like, to all the little girls out there, don't give up on your dreams. And I'm like, yes and no.
Yeah.
Let go of them. Let go of them if you need to. It's okay.
Thank you.
Because the truth is, there's not enough to go around sometimes. Oh. In a business like Nashville, the truth is there's just not everybody can be the big star. It's a comparative, it's not everybody can be.
I got chills when you said that, and I almost think that could be a song.
Yeah, it definitely has found its way into some of my songs, of late that I haven't released. But you're right. I think it could be its whole
own smash. But authentically received, because it is true. And we don't really talk about that enough. I think it's interesting. What is the dream and what does it equate to? What is that succeeding piece? What does that mean to be successful or achieved whatever it is? And often people are like, well, it's about the process and all the things. But sometimes I think there's something in the pivot. And I've talked about that on the podcast before too, about pivoting and what gets pulled out of that and the learning in that. And really what we're really meant to do in life. And that pivot is where we're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And the success of that pivot is going to be this. It may not be what was over here. And you're right. And throughout life, dreams change. Like what I wanted to be a ballerina. Actually, weirdly enough, I was thinking about, this is so crazy we're talking about this, as I was thinking about this morning in the shower. I'm like, what did I want to do when I was a kid? Weirdly enough, I thought I wanted to be a nun. When I was really younger, I was thinking, I want to be of service, and I want to be, they look like they just live in joy and peace and all the things. And I remember until I had my first encounter with a nun that was not as nice. And then that shifted. But all the different,
I want to hear about that.
Oh my gosh, I could go on a tangent. But anyway, Sister Catherine, I won't even go there. But yeah, when I look at all the different dreams that I've had in life, but if I really look at them all, they all kind of link to one or two little things about me. And interestingly, what I'm doing now, it was always laid out in my life. It was always there. The thing that lights me up, that I know that God gave me this little special thing that I'm supposed to give to the world, it's there and it's always been there. I'm just doing something now that maybe widens the touch point, or it gives me a bigger reach, or because I've always been that type of person. It's a good listener. I've always been curious. I'm always wanting the story. I always listen to the storylines when I'd call the library and want to listen to the story. All the things. It's always been there in my life.
Yeah.
But how do I make it into something more? I don't know. And I'm going on a tangent, but I want to get to, I love what you just said. Everything that you just said is so real. It's so perfect. It's reality. It's real conversation. But the successful piece of it, I do want to get your thoughts on what is it like to succeed? What is it like to be successful? Because if this dream didn't become successful for you, did you pivot into the next thing? What is it? What is success? What is it even? How do you define it?
Yeah.
You had a successful career.
Yeah. I look back on it and it was the career I was supposed to have, because that's the career I had.
Yes.
And I've always been a very spiritual person. I grew up in the church, and so I've been religious at times too, but I 100% believe that the life you're living is the life you're supposed to live. It's whatever's in front of you.
Yeah.
Is what's supposed to be in front of you.
Yes.
You're not God. You don't get to decide to say, oh, this is not. And that doesn't mean that you are an active participant and you choose paths.
Right.
But in that moment that is in front of you, if that moment is you just lost your record deal, that's what's supposed to happen.
Right.
And so it's how do you deal with that in a way that you get to keep your integrity, you get to keep your relationship with your higher power intact, and your soul remains whole. That is success. Yeah. And I hate to be that lofty, spiritual woo-woo about it, but that is where I've had to get to.
But also, too, the success I see is that they all saw that you were this authentic person, reliable, tenacious. People believed in you. There was something across the board from all these people that they believed, that whatever it was that they believed in you about, across the board, and they still believe in you in this day, right? All those connections have remained intact. Moving forward from that, in that pivot, it's a success to me. Like, you didn't burn any bridges or ruin anybody's day or whatever. You walked away with a good amount of support system and people that really truly saw something in you that was universal. Yeah. Which is really cool. Yeah. And that you can always go back to.
Yeah.
So what did you do in the pivot? What was the next thing?
Going back to my childhood, I loved academics. I loved school. I loved learning. And throughout my time in Nashville, I had slowly been piecing together my degree. I had gotten accepted to Vandy. And I was going to school there. Just in
Vanderbilt?
Yes, Vanderbilt. Fits and spurts.
Okay.
And so I lost that last record deal, and I was super close to finishing my degree. So I was like, I'm going to double down. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to finish this. I did that in just like a semester. Same semester, I think, that I lost my deal. And I had a degree at that point in international affairs. That was what I had patched together from classes that interested me. And I wanted to get my resume out into the world of national security.
Okay.
I'd taken a lot of like military history classes, and I didn't consider going into the military myself because at that point I was in my mid-30s and I didn't think that was an option. So I was like, I'll just get my resume out to anybody in any military charity that I have sung the national anthem for or touched through my music and just see what happens.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. And my resume found its way to a woman that is just one of these strong, fantastic, visionary women. She was a former FBI agent and had started her own contracting company that was doing national security type work. And she got it through a friend of a friend, literally. I think it was like 3 steps removed. And she noticed that I had volunteered with some Somali refugees in Nashville, which I had also done throughout my time in Nashville. And I had written a narrative nonfiction piece at Vandy about one of the Somali refugees. And she was just curious. And I talked to her, and she said, to work in national security, you need a clearance, like a top secret security clearance. And I said, what is that? And she explained it. And she said, I can help you towards that goal. And she did. And then she continued to get my resume out. And very long story short, I ended up getting a job working in Mogadishu, Somalia, as a report writer.
Wow.
And I did that for a year. I got that job because of the songwriting, because they saw my resume and it made no sense. But they were like, if you can write songs, you can definitely write dry reporting for the State Department on some contracts that they're doing in Somalia.
What?
Training the police, training the special forces.
What?
And so I agreed to do it. And,
Wait, and you didn't have to go into the military or do anything?
No, it was the craziest thing. Like all of the luck and all the stars that had failed to align in music just fell into place.
Yes.
And with this job opening and the resume finding its way into the hands of somebody that could see. Of course, I spoke with that person, and that person became my future husband. But he
that
got
is amazing.
I know he got my resume, and it's funny because he is exactly the person that should have gotten that resume and been able to see it.
Okay.
And that's separate from the fact that we fell in love.
Wow.
But he wasn't able to hire me. He didn't have that power, so he sent it up to his bosses, and they were like, JD, is this a joke? This girl is a country singer.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That happens to have a degree but no experience. Is this a joke? And so I, independently of JD, ended up meeting them, and they flew me to DC, and I interviewed, and I got the job before I met JD. And then
because this is all online. Was this online communication?
Yeah, because he was in Mogadishu, and so he and I communicated through email and whatnot. And then I ended up getting the job with the company.
Okay,
and then going to Mogadishu, and then I spent a year.
And he was there.
Yeah, and he was there working.
Wow.
And we ended up spending that year in Mogadishu together, falling in love.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What?
I know. So that was a pivotal year.
Very pivotal.
And that's what leads me here to Montana.
Yeah, I would love to dive. I do want to know that year being in Somalia. You're on a base, right? You're on a military base.
It's not a military base. It was a green zone is the best way to describe it. It was like a semi-safe area. They would lob mortars into it occasionally, they being Shabab, which is the terrorist organization that kind of runs the country. But so it was relatively safe.
Holy
I know. I lived in a
buckets.
shipping container.
You lived in a shipping container. You went from Nashville to living in Somalia in a shipping container, writing, you said contracts?
Writing reports about
Writing-
the daily operations of these contracts, where we were mentoring the police and the special forces. And,
so you're out there viewing and getting to know all these military police, and you're reporting back on what they're like, how their guns are working, or what,
all
anything.
the things,
All
just
the
how the
things.
program was going, because the State Department was funding professionals like my husband and others to be on the ground with them in a non-military capacity, because the political will to be in Somalia was not high and still isn't.
Okay.
For us to have our official government entities there is just not, the American public, I don't think, the political will is just not there.
Right.
So the way that we get around it and still have our finger on the pulse of what's going on there, which is smart, because there is an active terrorist organization that's affiliated loosely with Al-Qaeda.
I think they're all interconnected.
Yeah, they all just suck.
That's true. They do.
Anyway, so they will let private contractors,
Okay, gotcha.
people that are just like, I just want to be there because I'm a nut. That'd be me.
I would
And have the appropriate experience.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some funding for that through the government. I know. We've gone off another path.
I know. Joe, and you know that I'm fascinated by this stuff, which I'm like, I have so many questions, but I want to stay on track, because I want to, you fell in love.
Yeah.
You met your husband. Did you guys didn't obviously get married in Somalia, right? You guys came back to the States.
Came back to the States.
He's from Montana?
No, he's from Arizona, but all of his military buddies, one of them found whitefish and loved it and decided to retire here, and then started recruiting the others.
Okay.
So there's a community of guys that were in a small, very tight-knit military unit that live here.
It's pretty impressive how much, especially special forces, how we are surrounded by a lot of them.
Yeah, we're real safe.
We are real safe here. Very safe. And not just the fact that we're all slanging our guns or whatever, but we are protected. It's pretty freaking cool. I feel safe here.
Yeah.
I feel safe with my kids running around and knowing if shit hits the fan. And also, too, Montanans in general are pretty resilient.
Yeah.
They are resilient, and they've just got that mindset. We're going to take care of ourselves, and we're going to take care of our people. So, so cool. So you get to Montana. Let's talk about Montana, and it's pretty epic. You fell in love with your husband. You moved to Montana. Did you guys get married here?
No, we got married, of all things, in Wyoming, but we honeymooned here.
You honeymooned here. Okay, gotcha.
And then just never left.
And how long? Okay, so from Somalia till you moved to Montana, how long have you guys been here for?
We moved here in 2020, so almost 6 years.
6 years. So you've been married for 6 years, and you got two young babies.
I know.
You guys are rocking and
I know.
rolling.
We're just living that life.
You are living that life. So talk to me about getting adjusted to Montana and moving away from Nashville and coming up here and getting your roots and everything. Were you just kind of, I'm going to be a mom for a bit and do my job, right? Because now you still are.
Yeah.
You still have a contract in play, right? And you're making those decisions and having kids, which brings a whole nother element to it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And balancing all of that.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about, were you starting to think, I want to get back into the creative writing process of songwriting?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Definitely. There was actually a moment in Mogadishu that was very transformational, or I guess that's the right word, but I was, part of my duties as the report writer was also hosting dignitaries and people that would come to our compound. And just because I had public experience, and our bosses were like, "You handle this tonight." We would have the chief of defense force or the contingent commander from the Ugandan military come to our camp and have dinner.
Okay.
And so this one particular night, those two individuals and several others were at our compound, and we were having dinner, and it's tough. I tell this story a lot at my shows, but communication is stilted. It's not easy to. There's cultural differences. We're all trying to have dinner together, and it's hard to even have a conversation.
Right.
And so we're sitting there, and at one point, somebody mentions to the Chief of Defense Force that I'm a country music singer, and he lit up, and he was like, "You are?" And "Do you sing Kenny Rogers?" And I was like, "Whoa, that is not what I expected." And here I am in Mogadishu, and I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And so I get my little baby Martin out, my travel guitar, and I'm like, "We're about to sing some Kenny Rogers up in here." So I launch into The Gambler.
Yes.
And before I know it, everybody in our little area is singing along every word of the same song. And it was this very transcendent moment. And I just felt like that warm feeling of the presence of God, if you will, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Just move.
Yes.
And suddenly it was like things that had been askew in my world around music just went, and they just clicked right into place. And it was like full focus. And I was like, oh, this is why we do this. This is why this matters. And I'm back to the basics. It is this song. It is the song that matters. Yeah. And so I just put that in my pocket, and I was like, from now on, this is all I care about, is being a part of whatever process there is that gets these songs to life and into the hands of people across the world so that we can communicate. Because we struggle.
Oh, we all do. Yeah, no, it's great.
I guarantee the reason that we are dropping bombs on Iran right now is because we can't communicate.
That is insanely true. Yes.
There is common ground there. We just can't find it. And so, anyway, and I'm saying we as in them and us and all of us. So I have to continue to believe that we can find that common ground. But I know that music is one of those ways that we find that.
Yes.
That elusive common ground.
Yeah.
So that is all that mattered after that point. It all is all that matters to me now. It's why I started Big Sky Troubadours.
Yes.
And
that's
Troubadour
how
Arts
it came
Initiative.
apart. It came up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is like really cool. The birthing story of Big Sky Troubadours.
It started right there.
I love this. I love this story.
Thank you.
Okay. So now, it happened in Somalia. The Big Sky Troubadours. What's Big Sky Troubadours? What is that? Because it's Big Sky, right? From Montana.
Yes. And a troubadour. And obviously I didn't sit there, sing The Gambler, and then go, Big Sky Troubadours, we're going to start this company.
Right.
Lots of steps in between. One of them was playing a songwriter festival in Red Lodge, where one of my closest friends, mentors, and co-writers, Leslie Satcher, was also playing.
Okay.
And so getting to see her in Montana was really cool.
Yes.
And so she and I see each other at the Songwriter Festival. She's one of the headliners at it. And we're hanging out. She was like, I was in my RV with my little boy and my husband. And she was like, Joanna, get out of that RV and come over here. I'm in this big old Airbnb. You just come stay with us. So we did. And she sat me down and was like, you know what you need to be doing? You need to take advantage of this place that you live. She was like, I love this place. Me and Davey, her husband, honeymooned. And she was like, let me tell you, you need to start something where you bring these songwriters out here yourself and you write and you play shows. She was like, I'll come. And it planted the seed. And so that's how it got started. And I'm like, oh, I should listen to Leslie. She's a wise woman. And so I did. That's how Big Sky Troubadours got started, was in the hope of just simply bringing Nashville songwriters to Montana.
Okay.
And that was the first goal, was get them out here.
Get them out here, but then what did it look like?
And it took a while to figure it out, what it looked like.
Yeah.
Because The thing is that it costs money to get them out here, so that you can invite people all day, but when a flight costs $1,000 to get to Kalispell,
yes, and it
you know,
yeah,
you got to make that happen. I just started with simply doing shows at venues downtown and just coming up with the money to bring them out and having sponsors and dipping my toe into that world. And that's how it got started.
Okay. And what year was this?
That was 2023.
I was going to say, because I remember when you guys did like a first show. Was it at O'Shaughnessy?
I think it was 2024.
Okay.
Actually, it was 2024
because we were
I
here.
was pregnant.
Yeah, I remember you were pregnant. Yes.
Yes, and it was at 101 Central with Archertown.
Yes.
And then because they are hybrid, they had their stint in Nashville.
Okay.
They're world-class talent, and they live here in Whitefish, and they were the first other songwriters that I met here. So I had them, and we did a Joe and Friends where Archertown was the Friends.
Yes.
And then I brought Greg Bates and his wife, Shelley, out in May of that year. And we just had a string of shows. And it was a great, successful year and so much fun. And
I remember that.
And
it was at 101 Central. And I love what they're doing there as far as like really building out arts and culture and music and doing all the things. Yeah, it was a unique something new and different.
Yeah.
That nobody was doing.
Yeah.
So you were tapping into something here. How was it received? How was it received then?
It was received really well. Like, I just felt like people really enjoyed the shows. And
talk to me a little bit about what the shows.
Yes. So the first show was a little different because it was the first one, and I've got Archertown, and so I did a set and they did a set.
Okay.
So it was a little bit more of a traditional show with just two different acts on the show. But I did introduce the concept of a songwriter in the round show, which is what the others evolved to be. And it was my favorite type of show to perform in when I was in Nashville. And it originated, the Bluebird Cafe trademarked it.
Yes, yeah.
And it is where the songwriters at the Bluebird, they sit in a circle and you go around and each take turns singing a song that you wrote. And you tell the story about how that song came to be. And it's very intimate. And the storytelling piece of it is central. And I just loved those types of shows.
Yeah.
And they're very popular in Nashville.
So they're sitting in a kind of a half circle, and there's an audience.
Yes, but the audience at the Bluebird sits around.
Oh,
so
sits around.
That's how songwriter
in a round.
And obviously not every venue can support that. Right. So most of the time it's more like songwriters in a row.
That's true. Or a half
up on stage.
Yeah.
But that's where that all began.
Because there wasn't anything like that here. People go and perform at the Great Northern and places like that, sometimes cover bands. But there are songwriters or singers, songwriters that are writing in their homes. And then I think I've listened to a couple, I think before you guys did your first show, where they were like, I'm going to do my song I wrote. And I think they get nervous doing it. There must be some like, how is this going to be received? Because everybody wants to listen to a Tyler Childers song or a Zach Bryan song or whatever. Yeah. But I've seen some apprehension with somebody going up on stage and going, I wrote this song. I'm gonna sing it. I can feel the energy, the nervousness of doing something like that. But if you have a group of singers and songwriters, they're like, I wrote this song and this is the reason behind it. And then there's the storytelling piece. It's really cool. Because I never thought about how did they come up with those lyrics? How did they come up with the lyric and then how do they match? And now I learned, and we can talk about this. Everybody's so different.
Yes.
What's your style?
I would say with songwriting, the process, style is a good question, but I would say the process is very different for me when I'm co-writing than when I'm writing by myself. So that the process is a lot longer when I'm by myself. And
why is that?
I think when you have multiple energy sources in a room, it exponentially increases you feed on each other, and the capacity just increases, and you are able to. Whereas when you're in a void by yourself, you don't have anybody to bounce things off of and be like, is that any good? Or just you get immediate feedback when you're co-writing.
Where does your inspiration come from? Is it just life event, heartbreak, or
it's anything. To be honest, Marla Cannon Goodman is a dear friend of mine and co-writer, and she wants to come on this show, by the way.
She's pretty awesome.
But she tells a great, and I won't steal her story because she needs to tell it, but she's from a rich musical history. Her dad is a legendary producer, and she can tell you the story of King of the Road. I'm king of the road, trailer for sale or rent. That line and how that line came to be. And it's literally, you don't have to have any pivotal event in your life or emotional moment in your life to write a song from. Okay. That line of that song was simply by just looking around and being like, there's a blue cup sitting on the table. And it's just write the story about that.
Oh,
and
can I do it?
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, King of the Road was just somebody actually noticing their surroundings. And building a story off of it. So ask her.
Okay, I'm going to ask her. That's fascinating.
Her. Yeah, so it can be anything. And I think as you professionalize and become better and better at your craft, you learn how to just pull the story out of anything and everything.
Yeah. And because I'm like thinking to myself, I don't know, there's just been no specific song comes to mind, but I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm thinking, oh, that's relatable to me. And I wonder what happened to them.
Yeah.
And then why they felt that way, or they felt devalued or dismissed, or whatever the theme is of the song. Or if, like you had mentioned Taylor Swift, she always writes about heartbreak and I'm like going Sabrina Carpenter because my daughter sings it all the time. And I'm like listening, and when she's singing, I'm like, what? Okay, this girl clearly is. This guy was a dumbass, and then she's going, and then like I'm listening to the songs, and I'm like, oh, got a little insight into her life. But then I thought, okay, she didn't write that song. Somebody else did. Somebody else wrote it for her. But they figured out that this song works for her, and like we had mentioned about. She's from Texas. That song by
Choosing Texas.
Texas. And I'm seeing like Miranda Lambert, and I think they co-wrote that song, right?
Yeah.
Seeing if Miranda Lambert sang that song, it would not, even with like her range. And I'm a big Miranda Lambert fan. Yeah. And she's just got such a real, hey there, Mr. Tin Man. But like it just mutters out a little bit.
Yeah.
But with Ella Langley, she's got a whole different sexy vibe. Like I don't give, he hurt me. But that song would be different if she sang it versus Miranda. And how do you find that marriage?
Yeah, it is a little bit of magic involved, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
Like, you can't, because there are hundreds. And Aaron Radier, another songwriter that I love to bring out, we actually had this conversation at Shop Talk. Side note, Shop Talk is my series that I do down at Slow Burn Records in tandem with our shows. Okay. Where we do this. And we don't really sing, we just go down and talk. Shop Talk.
When do you do that?
We do it either before or after a show, the day before or after. But this Shop Talk with the Memorial Day show will be the day of, before.
Okay.
Yeah, so come on down. It's super fun. And the audience can ask questions.
Okay, so you're sitting in Slow Burn.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the music.
Yeah, we just sit side by side and we just sit and take questions from the audience and just shoot the shit, essentially.
About the music.
Yeah, we just go a little bit more like insider baseball than we do in the shows. Oh. And yeah, it's super fun.
Is there like a listening where people can come in early and listen to the music and get their questions going? And I love that. I love Shop Talk. That's cool.
Isn't it fun? Because it's at the record shop.
Did you come up with that?
I did.
Freaking brilliant.
Thank you. I know,
love
it's
this.
so fun. You got to come to the next one.
I will.
I love it. It's my favorite.
I love this. Okay.
But anyway, Aaron Radier shared, because he's really close to Ella, in fact.
Gotcha.
And he obviously is like one of Ella's biggest champions and believes in her. But he also knows the reality of the music business. And there are hundreds of women right now today working hard and writing songs and that are in by many metrics just as talented as Ella. And that's not diminishing her talent. It's saying there's so much talent.
Yeah.
And at some point, the invisible hand comes down and ordains something around an act or an artist. And the right song at the right time with the right production and the right team all come together to create this magical thing. And Ella has certainly done that. And it's like when 2 + 2 = 6 or 7. And there's something unknown that just elevates it. And it's hard. I never was able to have that, like that thing where it also amounts to like mass appeal. And that's where you don't have control over that.
No. And I think too, if I'm looking at it, because I did radio way back in the day, and I think there's a promotional piece to all of it too. Your push, and I just feel like there's it's just the whole thing. It's the whole thing for that one song. And there's so many hands and people on it and around it, involved in it. It is magical.
Yeah, it is.
But what I love about what you just said with Big Sky Troubadour and having that opportunity to bring it here in Montana, put it on the stage, and there are a lot of really, I just think like the people here are very soulful. Montanans are very coveted, but to have in that intimacy moment where you can come together in a community with your neighbors and your friends, and you can listen to music, understand what the messaging is behind the music, and what you guys started to build here. It's amazing. And it's at the right time, and it's fitting for you as the leader.
Yeah.
Because you want that. You want that authenticity.
Yeah.
You want that intimacy.
Definitely.
And you want to effectively communicate, be heard, right? On the other end, be received.
I think we're in a time where with AI and TikTok and all of that type of stuff that's around us, we're starting to put the car in reverse a little bit. We're like, okay, this is a bit much. Our kids are not well anymore. No. And I think that we're craving something real that's not digital. And I think that the reason that this is working and the reason that I want to push so hard to get this off the ground is
the Troubadours initiative?
Yes. And so Big Sky Troubadours is the original company that I'd started to just bring songwriters out and to just play shows for people. And that was the first, like I dipped my toe in the water there, but we just did our first show this year. It was the first time that we'd done a benefit for another entity, and that was the Scola, which is a fabulous outdoor school that's about all the things we're just talking about. Kids playing with sticks in the dirt and all the good things around that. And so it was a benefit for Scola, and we spent the week prior writing with the kids.
Oh, okay.
And teaching them how to write songs, and ultimately writing their school song and then presenting that on stage with the kids. It was such a rewarding week. And it has been a big part of me wanting to expand what Big Sky Troubadours does. And we have started a nonprofit called the Troubadour Arts Initiative with the stated purpose of being centered in Montana, because this is such a destination and a place where you can very easily unplug.
Oh, absolutely.
And so being centered here in this place that we love so much, and bringing the art of songwriting to communities that want to support mental health. And we have so many great organizations. Nate Shoot is one of them in this small town, and there's so many others. But youth education, getting this on their plate early so they have it as a tool in the toolbox. They're not all going to become professional songwriters, but they can learn how to, it's essentially like a form of journaling. Yes. So youth education, mental health, and veterans. I'm a serving member of the Navy Reserve right now, so that's close to my heart, and I know how it can help with that and all of the difficulties of serving, the challenges, but then also increasing this common thread of storytelling that you know and promote. and you recognize the value, that's the piece of songwriting that I think is what reaches out and grabs people that aren't a fan of country music.
Yes.
It's the stories.
It's the stories.
That's what I hear over and over from people that are like, I didn't really like country music, but I came to a songwriter round and now I get it because it's the story that I connected with.
Yes.
And so one of our big plans is we want to do some like multi-day events that are like, we're still throwing around names, but we're thinking of having a storyteller days,
yes,
a weekend event in our shoulder season where we would love to have visitors, because sometimes we're like, we don't want visitors.
Yeah. We're like,
but this is
a
the time you may come, you may enter into Montana. To that point you made about being very protective. But yeah, so we've got a lot of plans with the Troubadour Arts Initiative, and it's all about giving back this wonderful art form that reconnects us and connects generations too.
Yes, and you nailed it, Jo. We are craving connection. We're craving a deeper connection.
We are.
And I think that's social media can be good or bad, right?
Yeah, agree.
And our veterans, for sure. Oftentimes I've seen, for those folks that have seen such horrific things, right? They've gone overseas and they've witnessed horrible things. And then it's almost like they don't even know how to express feeling because of so much PTSD. So much trauma. But the moment that you put a headphone set on them, or I've seen, and I've had conversations with folks that work directly with vets. The moment that you give them an opportunity or a channel, opens up for creative expression. Able to, maybe they can't find the words, but maybe that there's something that the melody that makes them feel something that they had been suppressing. Music can heal. It can really heal so many things, pieces of ourselves,
for sure.
And to have something like this is really quite a blessing, especially with our kids, the rise in mental health issues. And we have Nate Shute Foundation that deals with suicide outcome prevention. We have NAMI that's helping, and we have high levels of drug and alcohol addiction here. And to offer something like this, we love tools and resources and all the things, but creative expression allows people to feel in a different way.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree.
And to have that community support of what you're building out in platforms and forums and events and things like that, where people can connect with that brings community together, I think is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
thank
wonderful.
You. I'm excited about it.
We're
just getting started, but we're spending a lot of time with the brainstorming process and laying it out in an organized fashion, because the military side of me and the school side of me knows that you got to have a good plan in place to really launch your dreams. So we're at that point, and anybody that wants to come on board and be a part of it or support it, I welcome at this stage of it as well. So this is a pivotal year, and next year is going to be the launch of a lot of it. So
for those that are listening that are interested in what she's doing, a couple things to think about is how you can partner.
Yes.
Lots of partnership opportunities.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots of sponsorship opportunities. If you're a business listening in and you're thinking, wow, I want to support this initiative.
Yeah.
What are the ways that what are some of the things that you guys are looking for partnership, sponsorship? What are some of those things that people like to help? Yeah,
for sure. So, obviously sponsorship. The plain and simple of it, because I'm a very frank and candid person,
yes,
is that we just need the funds to be able to do this, to bring these songwriters from Nashville, and not just from Nashville, because we've got rich talent in the Valley, but to also pay these local songwriters that want to jump in. I did a round table with a group of them to include Hannah King, who you've had on the show, and some other fantastic girls and women and ladies, to pay them what they're worth. That's a big piece, and they want to be involved in some of these songwriting workshops, and I want to get them involved, but we need to pay them for their time.
Totally.
And some of these organizations don't, especially like some of the schools that we want to get into, and some of the underserved populations. We need the people that are served that have the resources help
Right.
us out with this.
Yeah.
Let's reach out and let's reach those communities. So please, that piece is a big part of it, but it's also just reaching across and holding hands with other nonprofits. We want to team up with them to do shows and raise money, because one thing that was a big piece of this initiative is that I want to join hands with other nonprofits to raise money for what they're doing.
Yes.
Once my bills are paid, once my songwriters are paid and their flights they're good to go and they're here, that's where it stops. Like, I want to, at that point, start leaning into the mental health organizations, the veterans organizations, to lift them up, because songwriting is a bolster for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that helping each other out is,
Yeah.
helping our nonprofit, your nonprofit, and their nonprofit is super important
Yes.
to serve the
Yes.
population that you guys are serving.
Definitely.
It's
definitely.
awesome. All right, Joe. So I want to quickly just ask you a couple questions, some rapid fire questions
Okay.
about songwriting.
And I have not peeked to know what these are,
Oh,
so
you're
I'm
good.
a little nervous.
You're good. You're good. Okay. So would you prefer solo writing or co-writing?
Oh, that's just so hard. Ooh, I'm going to say solo writing, because it's what I aspire to be good at, and it's so hard.
Yes.
So,
I can see that.
yeah.
Okay. Morning or midnight writing?
Morning for
Morning?
sure.
Yeah, I'm more of a morning person. I couldn't do midnight. I'd be like out.
Not
Heartbreak
since
song?
kids.
No.
Kids changed that for me.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Heartbreak song or story song?
Oh, shoot. Story song, just
Story
because
song?
we're about the stories on this today.
That's exact. I figured you'd answer that question. You'd answer it that way. Georgia roots or Montana rhythm?
I cannot pick these.
I know it's so hard.
Both.
Both. And totally different.
Yeah,
Totally
can
different.
both be an answer? Is that legitimate?
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Okay.
Guitar, I got two more. Guitar in hand or lyrics on paper first?
Lyrics on paper first.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. And my last one is, okay, song idea hits. So when they pop, if they come to your head when you're driving down the road or whatever, I was just thinking like hands free, voice memo, text yourself, or trust you'll remember it later.
Oh, not the last one for sure.
Oh, okay.
A voice memo.
Oh, that's so good. That's how I really voice memos for myself. I rarely ever text, but I voice memo myself. How many voice memos do you think you have of songs?
I have to spend days organizing them to like
Really?
unearth like old ideas, and
You should put them in like a cool montage, then re-listen to them all and go, what was I thinking? But probably something like, man, that's a smash.
Yeah.
Okay, we're down to our last, just two questions. Our first question is, when you look back at your journey from Georgia to Nashville to where you're at now, what version of yourself are you most proud of?
Aw, that is such a sweet question. The one now,
Oh,
for sure.
I love that.
Although I was a pretty sweet little girl.
Oh, I'm sure. I can
If do
envision
say
you.
so myself.
Yes.
And things got a little rocky. It's tough. You go into your teen years, and I will admit the middle portion of my life was the learning portion.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and now I just feel like I'm getting back to exactly who I was at the beginning, where
Right.
I'm not thinking too much about it. I'm just being me.
Be you. I know. Closer I get to Schmifty, I'm like, I'll say it, 50. I'm like, this is who I am. I'm not going to change much. And I
Yeah.
like myself.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
So you should be too. You've done
Yeah.
amazing stuff. All right. Before we get to our last question, which is our pass the mic question, I want you to talk to our listeners a little bit about what's coming up for you guys as far as Big Sky Troubadours. I know you guys have something with Pam Tillis and the memorial event. So can you give everybody a little bit of a breakdown and then where they can go to learn more?
Yes, for sure. We'll start with that. www.bigskytroubadours.com. It's hard to spell troubadours. TROUBADOURS.com.
Perfect. And I'll also put it in the description of the episode.
Perfect,
So we got it. We got
perfect.
you.
So
we got you.
bigskytroubadours.com, and then at Big Sky Troubadours for all the social media. Great digital gal. Shout out to a wonderful, strong woman, Hope Shimshak.
Yes.
She's a Montana native.
Oh, nice.
Found her in Nashville, and we've been working
Wow.
together ever since she graduated college.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, Hope is a wonderful woman, and she doesn't get enough recognition in the Big Sky
Good plug.
Troubadours.
Good plug, Hope.
She does
Yes.
all of my digital stuff. So anyway, BigSkyTroubadours.com, at Big Sky Troubadours. And yes, we have some amazing events this year, and we're holding hands with some awesome nonprofits. The next show is on Memorial Day, and it will be benefiting Whitefish Veterans Support Team, which not enough people in the Valley know about.
No.
They are a group of veterans. Everybody on the board, all of the volunteers have served in the military, so they get it. And we bring veterans of all different walks of military life to Whitefish to have respite, to do various things. One of my favorite retreats that they do is a retreat for visually impaired and blind veterans.
Oh, wow.
It is incredible. And they take them up to the mountain, work with Dream Adaptive to help them learn to ski and snowboard.
I love that.
And that's something that they wouldn't normally be able to learn to do.
Yeah.
It's really special, and they do amazing work. So please come on Memorial Day. All proceeds from the ticket sales go to WVST to hear more about what they do and to see my songwriter friends Philip White and Mark Nessler perform. They have connections to the military. I picked them specifically for this gig.
Oh, I love that.
So
Perfect.
that is happening May the 25th
Okay.
at 101 Central, downtown Whitefish.
Awesome. And what's the next one?
The next one, okay, I need a drum roll.
Okay. I have. Okay, go ahead.
We rushed this podcast appearance because I wanted to give Julie and IWD406 the exclusive on this.
Yes. What?
Because I have a legend coming to Whitefish to perform in an intimate setting at the O'Shaughnessy Center. Pam Tillis is coming.
I love this. Oh, I love
Cue
this.
the 90s,
This is
folks.
huge.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
gosh, I have her first
Let
album.
that
Yes.
pony run, run, run. And what was your favorite, Julie?
I know it's not her original, but I loved Is It In Your Love? Her one album I got in 1994.
Yes.
And the song I had on repeat, there's several of them. There's
Yes.
several songs. But I think she did the best version of And She Rolls. That song.
Oh, I love that one.
He's a highway. That song.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, I cannot do it like Pam. But
And she sings so good. Let's be honest. There's a lot of production and blah, blah, blah that happens.
yes.
But Pam, she is a incredible singer.
And her voice hasn't changed.
It hasn't, which is amazing.
It's
'cause
timeless.
Mine has changed. I'm 40 and I'm
Right.
like, wow. But Pam is an incredible singer. So please buy your tickets to come see Pam Tillis.
Can you say again, when is it?
It is June the 18th. It's a Thursday night.
Okay.
At the O'Shaughnessy. And it will be Pam and two other women. She's bringing her girls with her.
Okay.
And they are just doing a broken down set. So you rarely get to see Pam like this.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And I can't wait to share her.
I
She is a
cannot wait
wonderful
either.
woman.
She
Yes.
is. Oh, she's timeless.
And we're doing a shop talk.
You're doing a shop talk?
Yes, with Pam
Are you-
at Slow Burn.
At Slow Burn.
the next day at 11 a.m.
Oh, that place is going to be packed.
I know. I'm kind of thinking I might have to do some RSVPs. So you heard it first
Yes.
here. So we'll figure that out. We'll have that all up on the website by the time this goes live, and we'll have our ducks in a row on how we're going to handle
Joe,
the masses.
you're killing it. You are killing it. I am so that's exciting. All
Yeah.
things, everything that you're doing is so exciting and much needed, and it's all the things that are happening here in Montana. You're right. You're on the ground. Like,
Yeah, and Pam loves Montana.
Oh, does she really?
She's doing this a lot because she wants to
gonna move here?
come. I don't know. Maybe I think she would consider that. But we're taking her fly fishing. Bent Fly Fishing. Shout out. They
Oh,
are
I love
gonna
that.
sponsor a trip and take Pam out.
oh, that's wonderful. Oh, she's going to have a ball.
She is. She is.
That's really cool, you guys. Get your tickets, support what she's doing. I love all this, but we are unfortunately down to our last question. Before we pass the mic, we want to pause and recognize the businesses that make this space possible. Pass the Mic sponsorship on the IWD406 podcast is more than advertising. It's a commitment to Montana women supporting Montana women. As a Pass the Mic sponsor, we create a custom audio commercial for your brand, giving you triple exposure on the podcast, across our digital platforms, and on YouTube, all as evergreen content that lives long beyond a single episode. Right now, businesses can receive 12 podcast episodes for the price of one. If you believe in honoring Montana women's history, amplifying their stories, and supporting a platform that truly invests back into the community, we love to work with you. Contact IWD406 today at www.iwd406.com. And now, let's pass the mic. And thank you so much for being a part of the podcast and everything that you're doing, Joe. You're remarkable. I was really excited and really honored, and I feel extremely blessed that I've had this opportunity just to get to know you.
Me too. It's been wonderful.
So thank you. All right, we're down to our last question, which is our signature question for the podcast. It's Pass the Mic. We believe in amplifying the voices of remarkable women. If you could pass the mic to a Montana woman to share her story in the IWD406 podcast, who would she be and why?
I'm going to pass the mic to Nina Havens.
Nina Havens.
Yes.
Okay.
Nina owns and runs Great Northern Lash and Aesthetics.
Okay.
She is one of the first women that I met here. She is a young woman that has started her own business, and she's elegant, she's classy, she lifts women up. We got to have our aesthetics.
We do. I get you.
Our
Yes.
aesthetics and our estheticians.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
We do. She does my lashes, and I just love her work. Hold on, I gotta wipe my nose.
Sorry, I have Kleenex somewhere.
No, you'll have to cut that.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yes, salons, aesthetic parlors, whatever you want to call them, they are like our therapy area.
Yeah, they are.
And Nina is that person. She is a soft and gentle presence. She does beautiful work. While if you need to just tell her your life story, compare notes,
Yes.
And here's the other thing I love so much about Nina. She is a small town girl.
Yes.
And I grew up wanting to get out of my small town. And as life went on, I started to realize that small towns are essential in the nurturing of our kids and our youth, and they are important.
Yes.
And Nina and her sister Blaine, which should be the next Pass the Mic,
Right.
and their mother are small town community members that make a small town every wonderful positive thing that it should be. They are like the backbone. So go see Nina, and I can't wait for her appearance.
Story. I love that. That is so true. You don't even have to go to a therapist, even though there's some amazing therapists, but go to your hairstylist, your lash person.
It's the vault, and they know it.
Or your skin person, and they know everything about you. So even more so than my husband.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And I really appreciate everything that you're doing, Joe. Keep doing it. Keep sharing your gifts and your talent and just you.
Thank you.
To our world. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie, because somebody needs to turn this thing on its head and interview you.
Oh.
Because what you're doing is truly unselfish, and it's really to be commended.
Oh, thank you so much. All right.
A special thank you to our podcast guest. You can find all of her links in the description of this episode. If you like what you heard, please hit subscribe. You will be notified of future podcast guests. Follow us on our social media platforms and stay tuned for our next podcast chat with an amazing Montana woman.